All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Plenty of people have heard this. Side note, hello, SquirrelTribe. Plenty of people have heard this quote from William Shakespeare, one of his plays. It goes like this: all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. Now, technically, it's about our interacting day-to-day lives with each other in our own time and stuff like that. But if you really stop and think about it, like you step back and look at it, all the world's a stage. That is exactly what it feels like. And we are merely the players. There are the people out there who are directing the entire thing, and we just happen to have our own little minuscule parts, is what it feels like most of the time, based off of the things that are going on around us, right? And I'm not talking religious wise. I am talking government and puppet string holders and everything else. Religion's a completely different topic, where we could easily have the exact same conversation with this exact same quote from William Shakespeare, just in a religious fashion. But right now we're going about this in a more of a, the government's pulling the strings, we are just here, and we don't realize what's happening until they say scene, and then it's over, and then we're like, oh crap, look at how we got played. And the reason I'm bringing this up, we have the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, just 3 days away, literally 72 hours, if I can do math in my head, 72 hours away, August 19th through the 22nd, here in the United States, in Chicago, Illinois, and it's going to be a complete shit show, in my personal opinion. But here's what's happening. We're looking at our stage, the USA, the stage here, while everything around us is having its own version of their play, right? The world is having its own thing. The UK is having stuff. Africa's going through everything. You have Israel, Iran, you have Russia, you have Ukraine. Everybody has their own stage that they're on. And I hope this is not like confusing. I don't mean it to be, but sometimes the way things work in my brain don't normally always come out the way I want them to sound. But here's the thing. We have, like I said, the DNC coming up, and then we have our elections November 5th. And at this exact same time, now you have the WHO, the World Health Organization, screaming, you know, next pandemic, whichever direction y'all want to go with that. They're screaming about monkeypox. Although, because now everybody is woke, we can't call it monkeypox anymore in case somebody thinks that's racist, since it started in Africa, so now it's mpox. Let's just be fully understanding of why they've changed the name, because they didn't want it to sound some sort of racist way, which, okay. So now we have mpox. When I heard about this a couple days ago, they're like, oh no, the World Health Organization is declaring this the next, big thing, and it's a pandemic and whatever else. I'm like, wait, didn't we just hear about this a couple years ago when COVID was starting to slowly trickle away and people were less scared of it? They said, bring out the monkeypox. And then you had New York and other states having a case here or a case there, and we were supposed to get really scared and it didn't work. So then they stopped talking about it and went back to COVID and went back to other things. And there's always, it's a hop, skip, jump to the next thing that's designed to instill fear or make us listen or fall in line or spend money or get a shot or do this or do that, right? And mpox is the new thing. So I want to share with you guys what this is about, because to me, the fact that this is coming out right now and that they're pushing there's such a huge push for it here in the United States right now is huge, because a lot of the talk on this is that it's transmitted by touching each other. And that's not true. But they're going to tell you that so that when it comes time to go vote, people will be scared to go out of their homes and be in enclosed spaces. Once again, same thing they did with COVID. C-19 was making people scared to leave and be in groups of people. If you're afraid to leave to go vote, maybe you're not going to do your mail-in ballot. And if you don't go vote, maybe that helps whatever side they think needs the help right now, which is the left side, just so we're all fully aware. But I want to bring this information to you because these are conversations, again, we need to have. We have to talk about everything that's going on. And I keep doing this because there's a piece of random hair. There we go. Got it. So this came out yesterday. Dom Lucre posted this on X. I've done a little bit more research on it. And it says monkeypox has been detected in the wastewater of 2 different districts in San Francisco. Just ironic that it's California, the same place Kamala Harris is from. But anyway, keep going. The WHO declared monkeypox a global health emergency yesterday, just FYI. Their timing was perfect now that the illness is in the United States a day after their announcement. And there's some dude here saying, he's got monkeypox. And if you look at it, it really does look like chickenpox, right? So they're saying that monkeypox isn't chickenpox. It's more along the lines of smallpox, which there are vaccines for smallpox, obviously, all around the world. There's that. But now, they have this new thing to scare us with. So I have this other information. This is from Raw's Alerts. They're saying Mpox, known as monkeypox, has now been detected in the wastewater, 2 different districts. Currently, officials are investigating as wastewater from 2 separate districts in San Fran, California, has detected the presence of Mpox, also known as monkeypox. The first detection occurred in the Oceanside neighborhood of San Francisco, followed by a second detection in the southeastern part of the city. These findings are particularly concerning as they come just one day after the World Health Organization declared monkeypox a global health emergency. Public health officials are closely monitoring the situation, and additional testing is underway according to officials, and blah, 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 blah. And then they've got the lovely little picture here. Let me be the first one to tell you, I do not generally believe in coincidences when it comes to things like this and our government and World Health Organization and world leaders. I don't believe in coincidence. You're going to tell me that you declare monkeypox a public, worldwide emergency or pandemic, and then suddenly, here it is in the waterways of California? Okay, yeah, that's cool. I don't believe anything. I think everything is designed. I think that people do things for their own benefit because, again, profit over people. I've said it here on this channel for years, and that's what I will always believe. And this is another way for profit. This is another way to scare people. This is another way to get people to do what they want them to do. Let me give you a little more information here. So I pulled up this article, and side note, I tried to go to ChatGPT because I was like, I wonder what ChatGPT would tell me. Anything I put in with Mpox or monkeypox, it would tell me that there was some sort of error and it couldn't connect. But when I said, what's today's date? It came back with August 16th, 2024. But it could not answer any questions for me on Mpox or monkeypox. And I was like, y'all are shady AF. That's exactly what that means to me. When ChatGPT is like, we're not allowed to say nothing. So according to this is actually from the Milwaukee Journal. It is the second time in 2 years the World Health Organization has declared Mpox, an infectious disease caused by the monkeypox virus, a global health emergency. They just announced it on Wednesday. Today is Friday, so I am 24 hours late. It is what it is. Following outbreaks in 13 African nations, totaling more than 17,000 cases this year. Okay, 17,000 cases, 13 African nations, millions upon millions of people, 17,000 cases. I just want to really put things into perspective for people. When they try to scare us, do not immediately get scared. Think to yourself, what like data goes along with this? Like, what am I scared of? Am I scared of, the 1 in 17 million chance that I'm going to get this? Or am I scared of, but I'd have to travel to Africa? Like, what should scare me about this is what the question should be. Okay, so listen. The current outbreak is triggered by new forms of the virus, because every single time there's something, they say it's a new form. You saw how many strains of C19 we had. This one's known as Clade I and Clade IB, which appear to spread more easily through routine close contact. This is according to Reuters. The 2022 global outbreak was caused by Clade 2 strain, or II, I guess that is Roman numeral, so Clade 2, which is still present in the US and elsewhere. So it's been around. It hasn't really gone anywhere. It's just not been a big deal at all. So just keep that part in mind. This is what they say you need to know about the rising case or the rising issues or whatever. The virus is similar to the one that causes smallpox, according to the CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. They always forget the and prevention part because heaven forbid they actually prevent it. They just control it. That's why it's just the CDC, not CDC and P. But they're saying it's not related to chickenpox. As of April, a few months ago, the U.S. reported 744 cases of the Clade 2 Mpox in 2024. Wisconsin only saw 2 cases between January and April of this year. New York City by far accounted for the most cases of any other city or state, with 151 cases in that 4-month period. 744 cases, multiple millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of people living in this country. 744 cases. Pandemic, global outbreak. Vaccines have been made. Shutdowns may be coming. I need us all to literally step back and look at the timing, look at the data, look at how this does not compute to me on why this needs to be considered a worldwide epidemic or pandemic, and why we need to be suddenly terrified to leave our houses and touch people or be in closed spaces again. It feels like a recurring 2020 kind of thing right here. So this says it's a significant decrease also. Now that it's a pandemic, there's been a decrease. It's a significant decrease in cases from the peak of the outbreak in 2022. The U.S. reported 32,000 cases in 2022, and there were 58 deaths. But just like with C-19, were those 58 deaths actually related to Mpox, or was there something more? Like they fell off, a bridge, or there was a car accident, or they fell down some stairs and broke their neck, but they happened to have what looked like Mpox, maybe smallpox, so we're going to label it that because money, honey. The money goes into the pockets if it's something like this versus a car accident or whatever else, just like it did with C-19. You drowned, but maybe they drowned because they had C-19. Chalk it up as that. Make money for the hospital, screw the family, right? That's how it worked. They have had less cases. There's been a decline since 2022. Only 744 cases countrywide, nationwide here, since the beginning of 2024. And suddenly this is a pandemic that we all need to be worried about. Let me give you just a little bit more information because we always come with receipts and whatnots. The first case of monkeypox, now known as Mpox, like I said, was documented in the United States on May 17th, 2022 in Boston, Massachusetts. The outbreak was part of a larger outbreak caused by the West African clade of the monkeypox virus. The disease spread rapidly and it peaked in August of 2022 with cases reported in all 50 states and Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. As of August 15th this year, the CDC reported there have been no significant changes in Mpox case counts in the U.S. in the last 6 months. We have had no uptick. Despite the amount of people crossing our southern border and our northern border, and now east and west, they're coming in from every direction, we have had no uptick. If we do have an uptick, we might want to look at the people coming in from the east and the west and the north and the south that, are here illegally. Just a thought, just a whatever there. Now, as of April 2024, the CDC recommends the Jynneos vaccine because, of course, they're ready to prevent Mpox and smallpox. Jynneos, I don't know if that's how you say it. It's Jynneos, is also known as some other names I can't say. It's a 2-dose vaccine that's injected into the fat layer of the upper arm or between the skin layers. The second dose should be given 4 weeks after the first, but you should get it as soon as possible if it's been longer than 4 weeks, blah, blah, blah. Now, according to this, they made this and approved it in August 2022. At the height, those few thousands of cases amongst millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of citizens and illegal immigrants, don't forget those extra millions, they made a vaccine for it in August of 2022, when it was really not a big thing, not a big deal, right? But now they want to declare a pandemic and then, oh, looky cookie, look what we have already for you here, take this. We know how well that worked last time, okay? The CDC and the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, the ACIP, recommend the 2-dose vaccine for people at risk of Mpox, including those who may be exposed to orthopox viruses through their jobs. I don't even know what through their jobs means. But wait, there's more. It gets better. I was like, how is this transmitted? Because there has been a lot of talk about how it is transmitted, and I don't know what to believe. And this makes it just a little bit more confusing, okay? Now, there's a very good chance, because I'm talking about something like this, that YouTube's going to not let this go. I realize this as I'm talking. I've said the V word too many times and the C word too many times, and YouTube is, they're, well, we're just going to keep going and see what happens. According to this, Mpox can spread through close contact of any kind, including through kissing, touching, oral, and penetrative vaginal or anal sex with someone who is infectious. It's very HIV sounding, just so we're fully aware. People who have sex with multiple or new partners are most at risk. Again, very HIV sounding. Doesn't really sound like chickenpox, smallpox, things like that. That's just me. Then, when you ask what causes it, okay, you can spread it by having sex and kissing and making out and whatever else. So that's another way to keep people away from people, right? But they say the causes are animal bites or scratches. This is how it spreads from an animal to a person. So if you stay away from animals you should be safe. And if you stay with your current partner and your current partner only stays with you, you should also be safe, okay? It says it's through animal bites or scratches, wild game that is cooked for food, so like random rabbits and possums and whatnot, products such as skins or furs made of infected animals, direct contact with body fluids or rashes of animals with Mpox. Stay away from gross looking animals and you should be safe, and stay away from vaginas and booty holes that you don't know anything about. Seems pretty accurate to me, like on how to stay safe from this, especially since 744 cases in the last 8 months pretty much is showing that a lot of people are sticking with the vaginas and booty holes they've known instead of random ones, and they're staying away from wonky, weird animals with little chicken pox looking things on them. Seems like we're going in the right direction already. But of course, there's a lot of vaccines already out there. So according to this, the WHO declaring the 2024 Mpox surge a public health emergency of international concern. It is bad in Africa right now. According to this, it says here in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is where it originated from, and what they're saying, children make up the majority of the 14,000 reported cases and 511 deaths so far in 2024. Which, if you want to get technical, children making up the cases and the deaths, when we just read that the transmission to humans a lot of times is either through animals or through sexual encounters. We're going to hope it's animals, because if it's something else, burn, baby, burn. That's all I got to say, because that is beyond disturbing in every way, shape, and form right now. It says the numbers roughly match the number of cases reported in all of last year in the country, and they dwarf the Mpox numbers reported in 2022. So in Africa, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, to be like precise, it's worse there, is what they're saying. And they're saying Africa's worried because 70% of cases in the DRC are in children under 18. And again, we just talked about how it's transmitted person to person. Under 18. Now I know 16-year-olds are out there doing their thing, but and 17 and 18-year-olds, but hopefully not younger than that, and hopefully there's no adults in there at the same time. Although, y'all, this is highly disturbing, and I'm just going to bring it up because I think it's absolutely sickening that there are countries out there that allow grown men to marry literally 8 and 9-year-old girls and then have a wedding night with them, and then the girl died. I put it on my ex account because I can't do it here, because I will either cry, vomit, rage out, something. But check that out, because it is absolutely disturbing beyond everything just under the sun to me that there are people out there like that, and I think they should all be castrated and dragged behind a car. But okay, whew, breathe. Let's go. So according to the U.S. response of Mpox, there's concern about Mpox in the U.S. as well. And of course, they're going to really hype it up right before November 5th. That is my prediction on this. The U.S. CDC, they've issued an Mpox alert last week. While the risk to the general population in the U.S. remains low, senior science advisor at the U.S. CDC, some lady named Christina Hudson, says it's important for clinicians, health departments, and travelers to be aware of the virus's spread in Africa and be vigilant about symptoms. We've already pledged as a country $424 million to help with the ongoing catastrophe in the Democratic Republic of Congo. $10 million to respond to Mpox, and they're sending 50,000 Mpox vaccine doses, which is good that we have them to send over there. But I'm waiting for the moment where they say that here it's going to be a new one that you have to get, because they just keep adding new things on. If your kid wants to go to school, you got to have these. If you want to have a job, you got to have these. I'm waiting for them to add this one on, because it will not surprise me at all. It says here, it's harder for diagnostic tests to pick it up because of a genetic change in the virus. This is according to, again, the CDC. It's the first time clade IB or 1B has been spread through sexual transmission. However, it also seems less fatal than the original clade 1 circulating elsewhere in the DRC. The number of people who have died has dropped below 1%. Same thing with C19, just so we're all fully aware, it was below 1%. At least is that they say that's a glimmer of good news. Now, A lot of people probably did not stay for the rest of this video. Not everybody wants to hear about stuff like that, but it is important to make sure that we understand everything that's going on, not just what's going on between Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, JD Vance, Tim Walz, all that stuff. Yes, highly important. But while we're focused on that, they're going to blindside us with this other bullshit from everywhere else, like right now, the Mpox and this vaccine that they've already got made and everything else. I don't want us to be blindsided. So we're going to have numerous different kinds of conversations over here besides just cackling Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and whatever else. So thank you for letting me bring you this information. I think it's important to really focus on timing of things, the actual data behind what they're trying to push on us, and the level of worry that we honestly should have or should not have. Right now, my level of worry, I'm at like a -4, bro. Like, I'm not worried at all because same penis for me. We're not doing anything weird over here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about any of that. Maybe tell your partners just to be on the safe side because you just never know. Some people like to do some freaky deaky things. But I think we're going to be pretty safe. And when they try to scare us a little bit more, again, just do a little research, pull up the numbers and be like, man, you're pushing it a little too hard for something that it's really not. So that's that. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Squirrel Tribe, I love you. I'll see you guys again later. I got to get some groceries back to the apartment, and that's it for now. So I'll see y'all later. Love you. Bye.